Hi, everybody. There was a button, and then there was an error, and then it didn't dump the podcast this time, though. So I think we're good to go. Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody. It's me, Matt.
Hey, everybody, it's Kat.
Welcome back to the 10th floor. We're going to talk about General Hospital.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to talk about General Hospital soap opera ABC.
ABC.
The week of something, June 16th. Mm-hmm. Well, today is June 22nd. Hey, everybody. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Hey, hi.
Everybody, I'm back. Sorry,
Mama's
I missed
back.
you last week.
Yeah, she is back. Last week we had Angela sitting in the hot seat.
Yeah.
And Mama has returned from the All-Star break.
Yes.
That's what she was off to. That's what she was doing. She was supporting our All-Stars in the family.
Yes.
Oh.
He got there's 3 games in total. Mm-hmm. The first game, the game that I missed the podcast for on Sunday, Father's Day, they lost.
Okay.
They got miserably lost, actually. The next day they won. And then they played a third game because it's double elimination. Mm-hmm. And the third game they lost, so they were eliminated.
All right.
It was interesting. One of the teams that was it was like a group, I believe, of 8.
Oh.
Some people came as far as Shasta.
Okay.
Okay, I was very lucky that it was an hour away from me. Anyway, one of the teams there was interesting. Was from Windsor.
Oh, all right. Hey, look at that.
Which was the city that my parents.
Right.
Well, that's where the last place they lived up north, but my parents are from Hillsburg. But anyway, one of the teams was Windsor, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Everything is a grand circle of just places we know and people we've seen and stuff we've done.
I was kind of grateful. My gosh, we didn't have to go to Shasta or Windsor or any of those places so far away.
You sure didn't. You kept it close to home and had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but everybody was just chilling in the waiting room waiting for you. And now they can get on out of there and climb on into the elevator so we can go all the way up to the 10th floor.
Well, you guys had a great substitute for me last week, though. I watched, and it was a good show.
I told you she was going to watch.
Mm-hmm, I did.
She even hung out in the chat for a minute. Anyway.
I did for a second. I couldn't really, but yeah. But I did for a second.
It's not just us, though, folks. Keita's with us. Hello, Keita, Millie, Rochelle, Billy. Lola's mom is here. Michelle, Shauna, Jeannie, Josh. Hello, Josh Goldenberg. I don't know. Is this the first time? It is. Here for the first time. Hello, Josh.
Hey, Josh. I got a son-in-law named Joshua.
Carolyn is with us. Chandra's coming by to drop off popsicles, but then she's got to get on out of here again. So enjoy the popsicles. Save a grape one for me. I like the grape flavored things.
I want the red one. I don't care what flavor it is. Red one, though.
And Melissa.
Yes,
Melissa actually knows the truth of where you were last week.
Yeah?
And that was stalking the movements of baby Daisy. Peering at her through a window. Turning on a lullaby so she can relax.
Somebody's messing with the baby.
Yeah, and her name was Willow.
Someone's already been in there.
Poor Daisy is not even a week old, and she's already caught herself a stalker.
I know, right?
Udak.
That person was peering through the window, watching Michael and Sasha have a moment with the baby.
So the obvious person, it would be Willow. But is it?
It could be. It could very well be Willow.
She's so tired, Ma.
Because she's so tired.
She's so tired.
Like, I know I slept last night, but I'm just so exhausted.
And I went to bed.
That's what she said to the creepy guy on Friday.
Yeah, what's his name? Congressman Creep.
Yeah, that's right. Man, oh man. I don't know, Matt. I'm starting to think there might be something that to that whole thing where they keep on bringing, the Shiloh thing.
No way.
I'm starting to think maybe because.
No way, 0%. Because of the wonderful things he does.
Exactly. They keep on. Okay, they have name dropped Dawn of Day weekly for a month now. So that's what makes me think that.
I'm thinking it's going to be less because Drew is really Shiloh. Because oh my god, what a reach That would be for the show to decide to do, you know?
I mean, if we can freeze a planet with a diamond, we
Well,
can do anything.
I'm not saying that they couldn't do it. The question is,
Right.
why would they do that? You know, why would it be a Shiloh who's alive this whole time, putting on a Drew mask? Like, it's just so ridiculously deep. And I'm not saying that there's no chance of it ever happening, but I would think that the mentions of the dawn of day is more to explain that Willow is in this wackadoodle, unreachable spot.
Well, I agree with you there too. That is a reason as well because she is starting to act completely taken over in a cult life kind of
Yeah. Like Nina's
controlling
even
way.
been like, I don't even recognize her anymore. She's so wrapped up in Drew.
Yeah. And maybe to remind us that she is vulnerable in that way. She can
Right.
be completely like controlled and even
Taken.
have like Stockholm syndrome,
Taken by a cult of personality.
right?
See, if only Chad Duell was Rory Gibson, then this would never have happened.
He's so he's so serious, isn't he?
He's so serious.
He's so
He's so
serious.
serious that his mouth doesn't even really want to move.
And Michael, the new Michael is serious and like has like a certain like Uncle Jason a look to him, you know, a kind of a you know what I mean?
I'm thinking, I wonder. I'm thinking and I wonder. I wonder, so it makes me think that perhaps there was some intention behind that casting. Somebody that might resemble a more Jason and or Sonny upbringing than the Quartermain upbringing. Because Chad Duell, like what his portrayal of Michael was very Quartermain.
It was very
He's
Quartermain.
super Quartermain, but this guy not coming. Yeah, I mean, he's sure he's Quartermainy. Sure, he's loaded and he's doing stuff, but he's so serious. His mouth barely moves.
Yeah.
He's Batman without the cowl.
And he's kind of exactly, and he's kind of brooding, you know. He's kind of brooding, kind of. I don't know.
I saw some
He's
comment-
very different than Chad Duell.
very, very different than Chad Duell, to a point where I feel like it might have been on purpose. You know how they say, you know, new cast, new actor becomes a new character to a degree.
It's true. It's true. Especially if someone has portrayed that person for a long time. You don't want to be you don't you know you don't want to mimic that other person completely
No.
unless you're taking their place for a couple of days.
Right.
Then
And
you do.
you do your best to hold the I don't know, keep the seat warm, I guess would be the right thing to say. I like it. I enjoy it. It's one of the easiest recastings I think soaps has ever really like had and accepted, because there's really not a lot of people out there being like, oh, right. There's really, I've never even seen anybody say, how come this man is on the show? The biggest like argument against him being Michael is, well, why isn't he Spencer? But that's coming from a very specific corner of the fan base that wants everybody to be Spencer.
Actually, when it comes to well, he actually could have played Spencer pretty well.
He would had to have been yet another older Spencer,
Yes. He's just a
because he
little
doesn't fit in the age group of the Trinas and the Jocelyn's.
No.
He's the 30s, not the 20s.
exactly.
And the
Exactly.
30s, oh, that 30s age group, that's heating up, man. I mean, somehow Drew is sprinkled in there and he's playing in it, but it's, it's hot and heavy. And here's the thing, Mom. We, you, me, 10th Floor Podcast, and everybody watching, hello, everybody. We had a popular tweet, a popular post on the X.
We did?
Yeah.
I think I missed it.
Well, I posted that. I think that, if Daisy goes missing, I don't want to see a broken down Sasha who can't stand, who's crying and sobbing so hard. Michael and Jason go on some sort of rescue mission with Spinelli
I
in the
did
tech
see
center.
that. I did see that tweet, but I didn't realize it got so much attention.
It got a lot of attention for us, I'll say.
I take it.
And I want Sasha to put on her Scorpio Sutton ass kicking boots and stomp through Port
too.
Charles looking for this dang baby.
Me too.
You know, I
I
don't want her.
to like
Yeah.
Man.
I want it. I want it. I need it. I have to have it. Even if Jason has to go, that's fine. Jason can go. Jason can go with him. Besides, they're bound to stumble across a Brit or something, or at least somebody that resembles Brit.
Something like that, huh? Yes, I want the same thing, Matt. I don't want to see Sasha. Of course, she's going to be, if someone takes the baby, of course she's going to be absolutely devastated. But yeah, I want her to come up like a phoenix too.
Yeah, I want her to be, you know how she like eventually stood up to Dr. Montague
Yeah,
with Cody in her corner and they got him.
yeah,
Yeah. Didn't she
yeah.
didn't she jab him with something? She got out of bed and jabbed him with something, I think.
I want her to like Scorpio it up big time.
I want her to get this baby back, and as she's walking down the street back into her house, she kicks open the door, right? And then the camera pans over to Ava, just watching on the sidelines, arms crossed, just giving her a nod of respect.
Yeah, she better, huh?
That's what I want. Ava has nothing to do with this story. I just want Ava Jerome to be like, that's the kind of girl I respect and admire.
Well, actually, Ava is that kind of person. Boy, oh boy, she's mama. She messed up a lot with her daughter, but she don't want it. She wanted anybody else to mess with her, but she messed her up quite a bit herself.
Big time. And she still adores talking about her lost Kiki.
Anyway, let's step back a little bit to what we just talked about it for a second.
Yeah.
What is your feeling about whoever this stalker person is stalking a baby? They would look peering through the window.
Right.
They actually went inside the house, and they obviously didn't have to break in.
No, they know
They
how
went
to
inside
get
the
in.
house because the poltergeist did not start the mobile on the.
It's
That
not.
wasn't the spirit of Lila turning on that mobile.
Wouldn't that be something that they do one day, though? It's like, no, Daisy doesn't have a stalker. As a matter of fact, she's got a guardian angel, and her name is Lila Coraban. Maybe this is going to lead into the demise of Monica. Daisy goes missing, and on Monica's deathbed, she goes, she's in the abandoned warehouse. I don't know, because
It's got me stumped. I have no clue who it is.
I don't
think it's Willow.
Willow is the very obvious choice. So if it's Willow, we're going to find out that it's Willow by next Friday, because it's just so obvious. There's no point in dragging it on.
Right. Well, it depends on how long the baby's gone. They might have the baby gets kidnapped. Obviously, someone's going to pick up that baby.
I feel like someone's going to pick up that baby.
Yeah, I think someone's going to pick up.
I also would say, because I was thinking, I have time to think about, I'm a driver now, Mom.
You're a driver now?
I'm a driver now. I'm
That's
behind
right.
a
You
wheel.
got your own wheels again.
And so I'm sitting in traffic, and I got time to think where I'm not distracted by the sounds and smells of the strangers around me. No. I'm out there thinking about stuff, listening to other podcasts, tuning in to Suds Media, listening to Angela and Vinny until they start spoiling everything and I turn it off. But hey, folks, you know how you
But
don't...
if you want the spoils...
Yeah, exactly. If you don't... Let me try to put some actual grammar behind what I'm trying to say. You don't come here for the news. That's for dang sure. There's no reason to ever come here for the news. But if you
can
do...
come here for speculation, though. We do that all the time.
But if you do want the news, if you want the rumor mill, if you want to know what may or may not be happening behind the scenes of General Hospital and what to expect coming up next, check out Suds Media. Listen to Angela and Vinny. And while you're at it, visit their website and social media platforms so you can vote for the Sudsies, which are coming up August 1st. And all that jazz.
Yeah. Do all that.
Anyway, what's the chat saying? What do you think they're saying, Ma?
I think they have their own little chat going on about who they think is going to pick up the baby. Am I right?
Millie thinks that Rory is the perfect Michael recast.
I think so too.
And Melissa says, well, since Michael is technically a Spencer, ... they're getting what they want. Del J suggests that Drew is actually 20 years out of the 30s age group. Ugh.
Yeah.
Michelle hopes that the Scorpio side of Sasha will come out.
Yeah. And the Sutton side too, because the Sutton and her don't give a crap about nobody else.
Kaiwan says that Brick is going to steal the baby.
Rick is gonna.
Brick. With a B. Sonny's henchman that just saved him with that really cool shot in the hospital.
Well, it would be kind of cool if it was Brit was actually going to pick up the baby.
See, and then Kaiwan's next sentence says that Brit is going to steal such a baby, I can feel it. So I'm not, you know how Kaiwan has it's Kaiwanese.
Yes.
So I wonder if the Brick was meant to be Brit to begin with, and Brit is actually the stalker, or as rumor might suggest, whoever it is that Kelly Tebow is playing that resembles Brit.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for this is also something I see. Follow us on X, folks. When I am on X and going off on Twitter and stuff, it's a fun ride. You should follow, because I said, since we know that Dr. O's coming back,
yeah,
that's something that we were too excited to keep quiet. So sorry. Since she's also coming back with Kelly Tebow, basically at the same time. This is my theory, and this is what I thought, and this is what I put on X. I wanted Dr. O to somehow grow the moss into a new Brit. Is the animal testing that Dr. What's his name doing? Animal testing on Brit?
I think Liesel took her to a special place to keep her alive and try to figure out a way to save her. That's right up Dr. O's alley. That's how she was kind of introduced in the first place, was being like the mad doctor behind the mad scientist, behind the madman.
She gonna be she can still be a crazy mad scientist.
And she was doing experiments and stuff, and man, you know what she could do? She could out doctor Dr. Dalton and kick his ass.
Boom, boom, kick, pow, smash.
Anyway, that's how she started. I remember she had like a lab even in the tunnels, I believe, of Spoon Island.
You know what? Dr. O could have a lab anywhere, and Sidwell could be behind all of this. Sidwell is menacingly helpful.
Isn't he?
Sidwell has really, ever since coming to Port Charles, done no wrong that we have seen or heard about or can be proven, even through suggestion, in the plot. He's there throwing money around, funding nurses' balls, trying to buy docs from Sonny, buying art, doing all sorts of different things other than nefariously getting into people's business. He's returning deck. It's almost as if there's something big on the horizon, bigger and badder than Sidwell. He knows about it, and he's trying to prepare Port Charles to fight it off.
I don't know. He's got he has big old grit, doesn't he? He's not too scared. He doesn't get scared.
Oh, Sonny, that's not what I mean.
And it's interesting how they they don't dress men like him. He looks so different, you know what I mean?
He's upper business casual,
Yeah, and like he wearing like this like big drop kind of pearl thing, and then he was wearing another necklace over that. He's got a cool little vibe style that the closest person I would say to him when it comes to like having a little their own little look thing would be, I guess, Curtis.
Cat, I'm a man of the world, you see.
Yeah, but he's just...
My fashions don't belong to just one locale or one culture.
He's never going to be like a Italian suit kind of Sonny kind of looking dude. He's not.
No. He's not somebody from somewhere. He's somebody from the world, all right?
Yeah.
You got to understand.
I still think he's a Dan Cassadine.
Angela's theories last week was great. Did you catch Angela's?
I want him to be Alexis's twin brother.
Yeah, that was Angela's theory last week, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know. Melissa says, "Let's bring back Brit, Nathan, and Peter. Family phase on."
Exactly. And then we'll change the baby's name to Wheezy, like we wanted to.
Come on, Wheezy phase on. We're gonna dust off old Bailey Lou and bring her on back onto the set. Let's do it. Yep. Let's do it. She can walk now. Come on.
We don't have to change her name. Her name is Bailey Louise, actually. So
Bailey Lou. Wheezy. We see Faison. She's just got to change her last name because I think she's a Jones.
You think she's a Jones?
She's certainly not a Faison. I can tell
No,
you that.
heck no, she's not a Faison.
100% she's not a Faison.
Yeah.
So,
No.
you know, she might be, I don't know. So Maxie's still a Jones, right? Did she, or is she still whatever Nathan was? West. Is she still Maxie West?
Well, and he's a Faison too.
Well, I know, but he was West. His last name was
I know,
West.
his last name was West.
So is she still Maxie West? Do we know? Has she ever been Maxie West, or was she just always still Maxie Jones?
I bet she was always just Maxie Jones.
Now, so is James is the only West then? So he's James West?
Yeah, I guess.
He should grow up to be a cowboy. No wonder he likes Cody so much. He sounds like he's from Texas.
Doesn't he?
I'm James West.
But, yeah. Boy.
I was born in Port Charles, New York, but I moved down here a long time ago. Played by Sam Elliott. James West comes in. He's played by Sam Elliott. He's James West from the future.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for bringing all those Faisons back.
Why not? Even original OG Faison with the hair.
Yeah. Well, that gentleman is still here on the planet, I believe, so he could come back.
Yes. You know what? You're right. David said that he bribed the judge. Michelle says that he's funding Sidwell's research. So those are some of the bad things that we've seen Sidwell do. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if he bribed the judge as more just handed her cash to make the choice she was always going to do. Because, I mean, come on, folks.
I mean, really, it seems like, I guess he just wanted some insurance, but she really could have come up with that ruling on her own. She might have just laughed all the way to the bank and said, well, you didn't have to give me nothing. But it was surprising. I didn't think that was going to happen.
No, not at all.
No, I thought the judge was so convincing, I thought she came up with that conclusion. I didn't think she was, I didn't think that coming.
I don't think it's because she needed really any help to make that decision. She didn't.
And why? And why? Why would Sidwell do that?
I'm telling you, Mom, he's nefariously helpful.
Yeah.
Well, Ma, in the last minute,
he just pissed Sonny off by asking him to go to Spoon Island.
Well, it's pretty easy to piss Sonny off, though.
Yes.
Because even then he's like, "Oh, I'll help you, Sonny. Really, this is about keeping your family safe. Just walk away now. It's the easiest thing to do." Mm-hmm. Like, no, I'll never. And it's not about maintaining his power, because he wants to let it go. It's about not handing it all over to Sidwell.
But yeah, he's afraid that something's terrible would happen to his fair city if he lets Sidwell take the dogs.
I can't walk away.
Chance there would be.
I can't walk away knowing that they're in the hands of Sidwell.
Exactly.
They gotta be back in the hands of the McCunky Esplanade.
You sound like the boss from Simpsons sometimes when you do something.
I have no control over it. I don't actually hear what's coming out of my mouth. As we all know, I have to listen to the broadcast. It's a little different, even with my monitor. So in the last 2 minutes, we got a new subscriber, so thank you very much, Black Boots. And Autumn donated to the channel through the super chat function. So, folks, if you want to do that too, if there's money burning a hole in your bank account, hit that button. Send it on over to us. We're going to use it to eat while we go to the GH Fan Club event at the end of July and the beginning of August.
Exactly.
So, do that. It's going to be super exciting. And anyway, Autumn, with their donation, also says, "Hey guys, I enjoy the channel." Well, thank you very much, Autumn. I'll say this once and I'll say it again. I don't give two hoots if the judge was paid off. It's still the right decision to give Michael custody. Willow is not stable.
Willow isn't stable at all. And you know what? I actually, she's not stable. She's being led by her nose right now. I think she's probably going to marry that stupid guy, even though she did say, she actually said out loud to him, "The reason why I lost my kids is because of you."
I don't understand. If we get married, how is that going to make it look better instead of worse?
Exactly.
Melissa calls me Matt Burns. You missed it.
Exactly.
You missed it, Melissa. Montgomery Burns. Montgomery Burns.
So do you hear it too, Melissa, a little bit?
Excellent. I'm just trying to do my typical exaggerated fake Sonny,
Exactly. I love it.
Sonny should buy the other side of the river and build new piers. There we go. And he'll call them, like, the Port of Nell.
Oh, he could like, isn't Nixon Falls right on the other side?
There's definitely people out there that consider Nixon Falls to be like a two-worded swear phrase. Like just Nixon Falls.
Well, he could open up the tent and have a good old time.
I enjoyed that. I liked Cowboy Mike, folks. I had no problem with Cowboy Mike. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the setting of the Tano. I thought Elijah, this small town crook, fun little story. I really had no problem. I guess the problem with it was that it was on General Hospital.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute and charming.
I thought it was cute too. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. Was it the best arc I've ever seen? Well, Christ, no.
Wow, you got a Christ out of her. That's big, folks. That's big. That's big. Goodness. But I like a rootin' tootin' good time. If you invite me to something that is a good time, and you can also call it rootin' tootin', then I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
And Nixon Falls was rootin' and tootin' as it could get. Mm-hmm. So I was there for it. And then, and then Peter shows up, and you know how I like that.
Yes.
I'm going to ruin it all for you, Nina, unless you help me steal this baby from Maxie.
Oh my gosh. But Nina hate Drew more. Oh my God.
I love how Cynthia Watros plays when Drew isn't looking at her. Because she'll do the eye roll and the big smiles and the ugh and just all sorts of different stuff to show that she is not on this man's side.
And this week there was a big scene with Maura, Nina and Ava.
Mm-hmm.
Maura and our Cynthia sitting there.
Yes.
And I just got so excited for the convention because that is one of the
one of the tickets we got.
We've got a ticket for the two of them, and we get to along with a group of other fans, we get to spend 2 hours with them. I tell you guys, I guarantee you, Matthew will get them a talking. He's very good at it.
I just got to come up with some really good questions about their deep character work and amazing abilities to act on daytime TV.
Well, it is. It's just fantastic. Just fantastic. And I just can't wait to meet the both of them. I've had the pleasure of meeting Cynthia. Matthew has too, of course. We've not met Maura before, so I'm so excited.
I'm going to meet her. She's going to be like, oh, hello. So you're the hosts of the 10th floor that we've heard so much about. For some reason, Maura West is Eartha Kitt. I can't get off of it.
And I wouldn't, if Cynthia walks in and looks at the two of us and says, hey, 10th floor, I'm going to fall out of my chair, okay? I'm going to fall out of my doggone chair.
UDAC has a question. Is the fan club event worth it? Never been. Well, we're going to find out. And Billy has a question. I think this is one that only you are able to answer.
What's that?
Are you two actually related? See, now before you give the answer, I have to be able to explain why I cannot, with 100% certainty, say one way or the other. Because while I was there when I was born, I do not remember it. I do not know who the doctor handed me to when I came into this world. So once and for all, are we related?
We are, I think I guess he's the most related he can be to me, right? I mean, you can't be any more related to somebody than the two of us.
Well, I suppose if I was genuinely gestated in your womb and you brought forth me into this world, then yes. UDAC suggests we get a DNA test.
Matthew and I indeed are mother and son.
Indeed. Super fun.
I was 24 years old when I had him. He is the middle child of 3.
I am.
I'm very, very grateful and blessed that I have a relationship that's worth keeping. I'm still married to his dad.
I know. I'm one of the lucky few.
We're kind of anomaly kind of.
Well, by the time I was in high school, I had so many people who didn't have parents that were still together. So many friends and classmates and all sorts of people.
Yes, we're related.
Oh, Melissa, again, with the truth, Ma. Matt was switched at birth. He's really a boy named Albion Fergus Mayonnaise. I guess I'm the brother to Patty Mayonnaise. Doug Funny's girlfriend.
Oh my
On the
gosh.
classic cartoon show, Doug.
Well, I guess folks don't think you look like me at all. That's all.
Nah, they were just looking for confirmation.
You must not look like me, Matt. I don't know.
Folks are having fun with this. I love it. Yeah, we look nothing alike. It is what it is. It's because I look like your father. That would be weird if she said they weren't related, says Joss. Just like if General Hospital is making it seem like Lulu and Rocco are not related because of this whole Brooklyn story. Josh, great segue to get us back on topic. You are a master at this, because that is something. It's
I love Josh.
It's the cover. It's the cover. Revenge is a Britch is the cover with the file, Ma. Because we get the file, we open the file. Whose picture is inside? But one Brit Westbourne. Because Brooklyn is looking for the facts. She's heard the rumor that Rocco was not born of Lulu, like I was born of you.
Right.
But
Yes.
indeed came from Brit Westbourne.
He is a stolen egg, and she matched it up with Dante. The Brits did. It wasn't an embryo, frozen embryo that she took. It was an egg, and she made an embryo with it, and then implanted herself.
So then is what we're going to find out, that Rocco isn't actually Lulu's egg, but was Brit's egg.
Wouldn't that be something?
Like they thought they and he's really Ben.
Wouldn't that be something?
I mean, it's something. There is something. The Brit something Brit. Brit something.
I mean,
you know, in here somewhere in the workings of our stories.
It's not as big a thing that Lulu has done. You know, it's not. But still, Brooklyn is just. I don't blame her at all. Brooklyn is just saying, hey, you know what? There's things that your mother's done that directly have an impact on you that you don't know about too.
Yeah, that's something, because X exploded with, I can't believe Brooklyn is such a terrible person that she would seek to shatter Rocco's heart with this information, or looking for some sort of dirt on Rocco's mom so she could stab Rocco in the heart with it. And I'm just like, you guys, I feel as though we're missing the point, because it's less about like hurting Rocco, but more proving that Lulu isn't as honest at, it all comes from Lulu being like, I have never ever in my entire child's lives once uttered anything that might suggest anything that is one step away from the actual God's honest truth of all things.
Does Charlotte know how she would conceive?
I would think so, with the whole living with the Valentine thing. I would think that she has to know she's a test tube baby. Plus, spending all of that time with Valentine, who was like, I love you so much, Charlotte, I could never lie to you. He would be like, listen, this is what I did. This is how you came to be. Do you want to stay? Good. Oh, great. Okay. Hey, I'm going to stop letting you choose me. By the way, you got to go back to Port Charles. Because they're not wanting me back on the show, but they think that you actually still have value, so you got to stay, and I'm going to go to jail.
Well, I think that, and if Kelly comes back and actually plays Brit, she'll be pulled into this story too, for sure.
I am in camp. She's not Brit. I'm in camp. She's someone who looks like Brit, resembles Brit, somebody who looked close enough to be Brit and then had plastic surgery. Maybe I just want the story. Maybe what I want is for Liesl Obrecht to have been like, I miss my Britta so much, that she makes a new one.
Like clones her.
Like, almost clones her as best we can get on soaps. It's Soapland. They could do an actual clone if they wanted to. I have injected the DNA into the mossy ball.
Well, it's wackadoodle, but they could do this. They could have a person and has had extensive plastic surgery to look just like her.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then they use the twin ABCD, EFG, whatever technology.
Right.
Put in her memories.
Exactly. So, digital memory swaps again. Patience, 7 and 8.
Yeah. Like
yeah.
that. It
Maybe
could be.
it could be something that Obrecht is just every week I download a copy of My Daughter into this computer, and the only
AI
person
or,
who knows is Spinelli.
oh my
We're not
good.
there yet, Ma, but give the show 2, 3, 4 more years, and I guarantee you, Days of Our Lives at the very least is going to do somebody programmed Stefano's personality into this AI robot, and now this computer is trying to take over the world. I promise you that Days of Our Lives will do
Oh
something like
boy.
that. The grand return of Techno Stefan, or Techno Stefano. Techno Stefano! I need to write this shit. Days of Our Lives, call me.
And I don't know. Just because I just want him back on TV so bad. Brandon Brush, that's who it should be.
Can't download Stefano into Stefan O.
Yes!
I know that's not the right show, but come on, Techno Stefano, folks, call me. Call me now. Fido Xavier, do you have Days of Our Lives connections? Julie Dove, are you watching this week? Oh my God, I've stumbled on what's going to make me a world famous soap writer, and I just spoiled it live right here on the 10th floor. So I claim intellectual property here on June 22nd at 11:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You're so silly. um, well, I think the arc of Brit coming back is going to be fantastic, and looking forward to it. Also, I think the Dalton thing is going to be good.
Yeah,
I do.
there's because also last week Angela full of information. If you want even more specific, she held back, folks. She held back last week big time when it comes to the depth of stuff that she has heard about. So, her suggestions though that this is going to be a big ass storyline, I'm excited for. Sorry for the swearing back to back. I'll try to pull back. A big old umbrella story that gets into like some summer sweeping adventure with all sorts of super villainy. I am here for it.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Because I do feel, I feel like the WSB really is warming up. They keep on collecting and collecting and collecting. And here's the thing. All right? You know this Vaughn guy?
Yes.
Basically, Dex, I think Melissa called him sun-dried Dex or something like that.
That's good.
Vaughn out there, okay. So here's what I feel about Vaughn. All right, whether or not he's Jack's son, jury is still out on that. But what I do feel is though he is an up and up agent who wants to do right and well. He just kind of knows how dark things can get. But when the time comes that he finds out what Jack is up to, when he planted a bomb this and is really the super WSB head that and whatever it is else that Jack is up to, he's not gonna like it. He's gonna stand up against it.
He might, huh?
That's what I feel. I feel as though Vaughn's on the side of righteousness and good.
Huh.
That's just the feeling I get, especially this week. I know he dove in for the kiss, but that's just soap opera.
Exactly.
Sonny, Anna and Jason just did the same thing 8 months ago.
They did. A few months ago.
The world melted down.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and we see it in movies too all the time. I mean, what a great way to throw off somebody if they walk in on an act of intimacy. And that's what it is. That's what it is. I think Emma's going to be the first one, says Josh. I think Emma's going to be the first one to figure out that Jocelyn is working for the WSB. Her and Gio need to work with Jocelyn and Vaughn. Maybe, but
that would be very cool.
Things went in that turn that I was hoping for when it comes to that little story. Because I was like, what if she gets too close and now they have to like run interference to try to keep Emma away from Dalton so they can do their WSB shenanigans. And that's where we're going with it, and I felt smart.
Yeah.
I felt smart.
It's like, and it'd be really kind of cool too, because it's a partnership of a Spencer and a Scorpio. And I tell you, that Robert and Luke got a lot of things done once upon a time.
So, I mean, that could be where we're going down the line, and we kind of establish it, give it its proper time to percolate in the pressure cooker. Oh, gosh. gosh. Let's see. Several years ago when they did the time jump, Stefano's personality was programmed into patch. I remember hearing about that. Maybe we'll talk about that at the 1:30 hour when we discuss Beyond the Gates and Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Stefano being downloaded in an old Patchy's fake eye. Vaughn could be Jack's younger brother, suggests Melissa. Jack is too young to have Vaughn as a kid. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be interesting if he were I've already forgotten his freaking name. The one that Sonny just killed.
Jagger?
Yeah, wouldn't it be interesting if he was Jagger's kid?
Jagger's other kid, older brother to Stone. Because Jagger had a kid that he named Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting.
It would be. Gia was not going to work for the WSB. You don't know that. What if he can put what if there's some sort of violin gun, trinket dart, where if he hits the right note, it goes out of the violin and hits the guy in the neck. You know.
He's gonna play baseball with his grandpa. Did you see that?
He is. Uncle Sonny. Oh, it's so weird to not call you Uncle Sonny no more because you're my Grandpa Sonny. How about you, Sonny?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought most of the time I think the baseball scenes are way cheesy. Actually liked it this time. And I liked that little scene where they had Sonny and Anna talking to each other, and it wasn't clear that they were just throwing back and forth jabs about the ball game.
Today is the day it all comes down for you, Sonny.
Yeah.
I'm never letting it happen, Anna.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. It was fun.
And the most overt flirting now between Sonny and the ADA. Here's the thing, though. I think I wouldn't put it past this ADA to play Sonny's game to just get closer to him.
Yeah.
And
Sonny's trying to play her too, because he knows, because Natalia told him.
All I gotta do is just.
I guess Natalia's done going, isn't she?
I feel like she is. I feel like
she is too. I don't think we're gonna see another scene.
No. I feel like she absconded, and she's done. She took the offer and she bounced to a point where Marco hasn't even realized because they're so out of contact.
I think it should have been done a little differently. I feel like just being sitting in that car is almost like walking in the elevator.
To a degree, but it works for the character. And if you came to a point where I guess there's just no path forward, Ava, right now, Ava LaRue, as much as we love you, we should have just made you Maria Santos, but maybe in the future, let's give you a soft exit. Nothing huge, nothing dramatic, nothing sweeping and final, and then maybe there's a point down the line where the story makes sense for Natalia to return. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see where we go with that.
Did you know that Miss Havens is still married to Jamie?
I'm sorry?
Miss Havens.
Alexa Havens.
Yes. Just not trying to turn on people's stuff.
I get you.
She is still married to Jamie in real life.
From All My Children. You're talking about the actor who played Jamie Martin on All My Children. Married himself a soap actress, A. Havens, who now plays Lulu Falconeri. Yeah.
And they've been married a long time.
Well, I'd love to see a successful soap pairing, right, in real life.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it. Well, maybe Jamie will come back at some point. Does Marco know that his mom left town? I don't think so. The conversation that he had with Lucas makes me think that he just hasn't heard from her since the pool, or since she called him and he found out that she's been arrested for the DUI, and he's just like, what do I do? He too also a man of good, a righteous man, somebody who's going to stand up against evil at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll become a WSB lawyer.
He knows his dad's up to no good, but he's, I guess they have this, they're supposed to have this clarity that he doesn't deal with his dad's,
this gentleman's agreement.
He only counsels him for his upstanding businesses.
Come on, Dad, you know that I only represent you in your legal holdings and your upstanding business practices, not this other stuff that you do on the sides with diamonds and minerals.
Yes.
Marco
And he's
will be
probably
keeping it forever.
knee deep in the Dalton thing too, Sidwell is.
Well, folks,
Sidwell is probably part of everything devious,
oh yeah.
except not so much the Drew stuff.
And even then, like he's supporting the Esplanade and stuff because he wants Sonny out and this, that, and the other thing. So there's a connection there.
Yep.
There's a connection there. UDAC confirms that Babe and Jamie are still married to this very day. I wonder if Eva LaRue's spilling of Marco being her son led to the storyline going in the direction of her leaving town, says Del J. I don't know if it would be that nefarious. Because there was instability and how do I phrase this? There was plenty of walls up that would prevent the character of Natalia from convincingly moving forward in stories. Like the character didn't hook, she didn't land, she was misplaced everywhere. Like everything about Natalia did not work. Her relationship with Sonny didn't work. Her attitude toward Blaze didn't work. Her position at Deception didn't work. Her ex-husband, her ex-wife-grindry to Sidwell, sure, could have been something, I guess, but ultimately, okay.
Yeah.
She just was a character that just wasn't working. So, I don't know if it was because she shared a picture and more. It was just a match that wasn't working.
Right.
To put it simply.
Well, I would say the women characters in the last few years that have come in and really like stuck, I would say are Ava, Nina, and Sasha.
Ooh,
They've
not
stuck
even Willow,
even more
don't
than
you?
Willow.
Wow, look at that. Well, Willow, they did, because Willow has, and now it's a character trait, but it hadn't been before. But Willow has always been the girlfriend of. She's the girlfriend of Chase. She's the girlfriend, now wife of Michael. Now with this whole Drew thing, she's a little less that, but she's also still wrapped into Drew with his hooks are so deep that she is the living embodiment of the girlfriend fantasy of the perfect home life that Drew has always wanted. We're just missing the kids in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. His plan is to just take off with Willow and Scout to DC now. He wanted to bring those other two kids, but ultimately he doesn't really care. And he proved that by purposely hurting Wiley.
It was the only way. You have to understand, it was the only way.
That proves it right there. That proves it right there 100%.
I would never
He
say
don't
anything
mind those kids are there. Their mama's going to take care of them. He ain't going to have to do much anyway.
My Drew,
But he doesn't really care. It hurt that little boy like that?
to come up with a lie.
Yeah.
To lie to my little boy Wiley. He's always wanted the best for our family.
It's pathetic,
Oh my
isn't it? Sort of?
gosh. A little bit, yeah. Purposefully so. Purposefully so. Because when she
And I
finds out
don't
she's
understand. Of course, it's a soap opera, but I don't understand. Ask the kid, hey, did you hear Uncle Drew say this?
it's so out of the realm of possibility that he could ever or would ever do something like that asking Wiley about it is a waste of time. I don't need to ask the kid to know that you're full of S, Michael. Drew turned Willow from the girl next door to the WHORE next door,
Ooh.
says David. Didn't Jagger have only one son? Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can't have more. I mean, for the longest time, Dante only had one son. Now he's got two. Natalia needed a Jason Q wipe. And just smash her head against a rock and turn her into a brand new character. Soaps have done different. They've done worse. I don't want to say, here, transitioning topics. Del J says, I do not want to see a Jordan and Curtis redo. Jordan deserves better than Curtis for her. Man, I do love Curtis and Michael team up, however.
I love Rory and Donnell. on the screen together. I think
you think
they're
they pop?
great.
You think they pop together? Well, he's so
Yes, I do.
Curtis is all like, "Hey, I don't want to work here anymore." It's a big old conflict of interest, and I'm gonna save Portia by giving this up because without me being here, then that's a lot of the pressure off of her. And Michael's like, "No, we can't do that. There's better things that we have in mind. We can let Drew think he wins. Let's tank Aurora." By putting it totally behind him, all right? You're going to do these hit pieces on me. You're going to support him as Super Congress. You're going to make Aurora seem really, 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 really against progressiveness. And we're going to see what it does to our bottom line. But in the meantime, we're going to make Drew think he wins.
Yeah. It's a quartermain kind of thing to do, It's sort of. I set you up.
Yeah.
Set you up. I'll watch you dig.
We're going to put little codes in all of these little newspaper articles. Every sentence is going to start with a different letter, and when you spell it out, it's going to be like, Drew is a bastard, or something like that, It's like just subconscious marketing toward the constituents and voters of New York. Kaiwan says that the fact that Natalia was introduced as a homophobe did not do the characters any favors, and Kaiwan's totally right about that.
Absolutely.
It was not a great launching story.
No, it was a terrible launching story because it automatically makes a big portion of our society going to be offended.
I understand the attempt of trying to tell the story because you should tell stories, but there's not an appetite for stories such as that in the moment. So, it's one of those things. You could do like an indie publishing of Natalia's story as like a novel, and people would read it and go, wow, that was really moving. And I love the fact that she grew so much as a human. But the daytime audience of a couple of million people sitting on their couch wasn't there for that story.
They introduced Ava as just like she was a con. Her and Kiki did cons together. And she was a monster from a monster family. Yeah, she was interesting right out the gate.
Yeah, well, Ava LaRue was a big problem out the gate.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's that kind of stuff, They got to bring you in with, like, when they brought in Nina, she was a crazy person pretending to be paralyzed.
Yeah, she couldn't get up until she wanted to steal a baby, and then she did.
Exactly.
And now she's inducing labor and claiming one as her own. Oh goodness, how much Nina has changed. Yeah. Shauna liked Michael and Curtis too, and Curtis is becoming more involved with the Quartermains. I don't think between him and Tracy, I think we see a scene between him and Tracy together until this week. Let me try to say that again. I don't think we've ever seen a scene between Curtis and Tracy until this week.
I don't think we have either, and I thought, oh my gosh. She's just great no matter who she's sitting with, and he's great no matter who he's sitting with, too. I loved it. It was good.
I mean, Jane Elliott's almost 80 years old. She's got a lot of experience.
Yeah,
she a lot of experience. I bet she could do a cartwheel.
I bet she could, too.
Just the last one, though. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
Goodness gracious.
I also really like when they have Tracy and Aunt Stella sit down together. I always like it that really well too.
Ooh. Some detail being picked up by the chat right now.
What's that?
With the discussion of ketamine being a horse drug. And there's only one man on the cast that is implicitly connected to horses. Cody. And so they're concerned. What if the blame for this ketamine thing falls in Cody's lap?
It could happen.
It could happen. If it does, I would think it would happen by accident. Because Cody and Tracy are friends.
Yes, they are.
And Tracy, in her golden years, values these little friendships that she's collecting.
She does.
So I don't know. I don't see.
She likes Cody quite a bit. When it comes to how much Tracy can like a person that's not related to her, because it's hard for her to like anybody.
It's like Gregory opened a door that Cody was able to slam his foot into just before it shut. So I don't know. I would hope that they don't make him a fall guy, and if it happens on accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who will murder Drew? Nobody. Nobody's going to murder Drew. He hasn't done anything death-worthy.
I haven't heard any rumblings about Cameron leaving or anything. So I don't think he's going to get killed.
Folks, this storyline is good. All right, this guy's not going anywhere. It's a good storyline.
It
It went
is.
from
It is.
garbage to great.
It did go from garbage to great. It did. I tell you, the more they lean into him being a
Exactly.
bad guy, the better it gets.
Exactly. When they said, cuffs off, whatever, Drew's just the bad guy now. We don't need to worry about finding the good within.
Right.
No, it's just he's Quartermain to a capital Q is what we're doing.
And it does seem that, he does, in some kind of demented, controlling way, probably love Willow.
Drew, there we go, Melissa, on the other side of it, rather than Cody being the fall guy, Cody being the help guy, because Drew did pay Cody a lot of money recently.
He did.
And they could say, this payout
Yeah.
might have been for ketamine. Melissa, you're smart. I love it. Ma, I gotta know.
You gotta go?
No. I want to know.
Oh, I thought
want
you
to
said
know.
I gotta
No.
go.
We'll do another 15 minutes or so. We started late.
Oh my gosh.
We'll go until 12:30. How about that?
Okay.
I gotta know. I want to know. Of the new characters that have been introduced recently, Isaiah, Kai, Lucky's already gone.
He sure is. Yeah, the same train Natalia did. Gone.
Which characters do you think have the longevity to them? Because I was thinking, Ma, because we still have Willow and Sasha, and they were both introduced to this show connected to nary nobody. Willow, to this day, is barely connected to people. It took us a long time to make her Nina's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
A long time. It took us a long time to make Sasha a Scorpio as well.
Yeah.
But until...
And Willow was knee deep in the Dawn of Day story for probably
That was her intro.
years.
That was her intro. She came in as the teacher who happened to also be the one that escaped the cult.
Yeah,
One of her
but
first...
it took a long time to get there.
Yeah, a number of weeks. But that was when the show was really, really, really uneven, and it took a long time to get anywhere, and then everything happened at once.
It's better for that.
It's so much better pace now. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off of it. Do you see a long term for people like Marco and Isaiah, or do you think maybe we'll get 2-3 years out of them before we move on? It's really it's difficult. I know it's a hard thing to predict because I would have said Dex is here for the long haul, and here we get him stabbed.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. I do because I do see that there's room for stuff with Marco and with Isaiah outside the bubbles that they're in currently. I think that they got legs.
I think they do too. I think both of them do.
Kai, I'm not so much has legs.
I don't know.
I mean, he's got them, and they're stronger than they were before.
They if Isaiah is here for the long haul, they need to make sure they don't TJ him. Don't TJ him.
Just have him around and have him around and have him around, and just there's really nothing ever to him, but he's here, and then now he's not really
he's
here.
just on the 10th floor all the time.
Yeah, now he's just hanging out on the other side of the hospital treating grams. I get it.
He was on an adventure and Doctors Without Borders, and he got Sidwell kidnapped him and all that stuff. So he's an adventurist. So don't make him. So yes, I think Isaiah could very well have legs to stay. But they just can't TJ him.
Right. And I think also, it's funny because I understand that Kai got this surgery so he could play football again. And if it wasn't for the hope of being able to play football again, he wouldn't have taken the risk. But like the Dr. Mohinder's sitting there being like, all right, so basically we put your spine back together and it's a normal man's spine once more. It just can't take a collision like football or a car accident. But everything that you used to be able to do, you could even be a baseball player if you wanted, buddy. Everything that you've done before, you can do again. You don't have to worry about a sudden change of the wind making you a quadriplegic. You don't have to worry about slipping and falling in a puddle, making it so you have 8 weeks of physical therapy afterward to make sure you maintain mobility in your pinky finger. You are back to normal. And he's like, I can't play football. And then Trina's like, he can't play football. And then like everybody's like, oh, they can't play football. It's like everybody's ignoring the fact that Dr. Mohinder fixed this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did. Now what but why? But he did. But does why does Drew have such an investment in this kid? Why?
Because of all of the reasons Drew said that he is the guy that could work for him. Because he's charismatic and people like him, and he's gung-ho for the future, and he represents tomorrow. He is someone who Drew can stand next to and say, look at me, I am a good guy who does good things, surrounding myself with quality people. Who mean right for the world around them and have nothing but bright futures ahead. I feel that's the
And
reason.
the fact that he gets to rub that in Curtis's nose.
That's the secondary thing. This is Trina's boyfriend. He is messing with the Ashford family big time. What Michael said before was absolutely correct when Curtis was trying, or I don't know if he said it to Curtis or somebody else after the word, but he's like, Drew came into my family and tore us apart, and he's moving on and doing it to the Ashfords too. Like he's just going out there doing his thing,
Yeah,
ripping families apart for his own benefit. So I think
he's a bad guy.
it's because Kai is a public spotlight. Oh gosh, this poor guy who had a bright future now can't play football anymore.
No, he just feels like he's just gonna look like a shiny brand new penny next to Kai.
While also turning the screws to
Yeah.
the Ashfords, who he knows in trio do not like him.
Right.
Not, because Trina was there.
at the
Trina was
same
there with the
time-
phone and the camera and all of that stuff for the crypt thing.
But at the same time, I know that Trina, and perhaps Curtis feels this way too, that it actually is a good opportunity they don't want him to have to miss. You know what I mean? When it comes to
maybe.
job and stuff, it could be a good thing for him, but because he just doesn't understand and fully know how manipulated he's being.
Right.
No, and they should have had Daddy come for dinner again. Sit him down.
Like, listen, there's a couple of things you need to know about politics. All right, they're never out for our benefit, ever.
I love that he came back for one day a month ago.
Yeah, it was good. We're here for Daddy. Get guest star Emmy. Let's do it. Autumn with another donation. I think this is Autumn's second donation. Or I don't want to ignore the first person. Yeah, this is Autumn's second donation of the day. Thank you very much to Autumn with the comment here. I hope when Willow finds out all about Drew, I hope when Willow finds out about all of Drew's secrets, I hope she does not go running back to Michael, because if I was him, I wouldn't take her back. I wouldn't either. I saw somebody suggest that they're...
I don't think I would either.
I saw somebody
think I would either.
They were looking forward to the love triangle between Michael, Willow, and Sasha, and my first thought was, Michael doesn't want to touch Willow with a 10-foot pole.
If Willow could just find out that Drew was behind her not being able to see Michael when she went to Germany, I think it would open her eyes a little bit.
Yeah. I don't see a future for Michael and Willow, though. Even then, even in the divorce proceedings, they were like, we had been going through the motions for longer than when we were ready to realize. So, like, they had both been kind of admitting that they had sort of fallen in love with that deep and fallen out of that deep and passionate love that they once had for one another. And that doesn't really surprise me. Number one, Willow's a big old cheater, and she always has been. And number two, the reasons they came together were not because of love and romance and stuff. They came together and they're like, I actually like this girl. She's so pretty. And then the whole Wiley connection and this, that, and the other thing. It wasn't exactly because they had fallen into love over the course of years and dates and this, that, and the other thing.
No, it was always, a manipulated thing in the beginning anyway. Huh. Well, no, I don't think they're going to stay together. I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a Michael Sasha. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
We got to get there, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Maybe after Daisy goes away and comes back.
When Brit comes back, we'll see what she is or who she is. Didn't she have a relationship with Cody once upon a time?
Brit, for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a
for a
minute.
minute, huh?
For just a minute.
Yep, for just a minute.
And then the whole remnants of the Ice Princess came up and yada yada, and
Yep.
he had lied
And
or
then she had
something.
her brief, and her last boyfriend was Jason.
Yep. And they had to split up because Jason needed to marry Carly.
Yep.
And then he got crushed by rocks.
He sure
And
did.
then she died in the meantime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 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 Felt like Willow loved Michael for his money and wily and not anything else, says Kaiwan. I mean, that's something I commented on early because they both got together and Michael was like, went back when he was Chad Duell. He's like, Jimmy Stewart. He's like, why don't we go to Paris? We can just hop on the plane right now, Willow. And and I'm like, man, this woman went from a cult to the Quartermains. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh goodness,
Well,
it's
I
gonna
think
ruin her.
I always thought in the beginning, sure, does their lavish lifestyle look great? Sure, it does. It would for anybody. But I think she was really desperately trying to find a family too, that wasn't wackadoodle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She was raised in some kind of cultish, weird mess most of her childhood.
Mm-hmm. I thought Sasha was leaving the show, says Carolyn, and Jeannie follows up. Well, that was a rumor. Yeah, there was a little rumor rumbling around there that Sophia Matson would be leaving General Hospital. I like to think about things. Yeah, I try to think about things as logically as I can, because I'm not back there. I don't know these people. I'm not privy to the conversations they have or what their hopes, goals, and dreams are. Mm-hmm. But I would think if I was Sophia Matson and I was in this position on the show right now playing the stories out as they are, I would not be really interested in finding my way out.
Oh gosh,
this is good, consistent
her
work.
arc is great right now.
This is good, consistent work, and I would hope that she's being satisfied by the content because she's not laying in a hospital bed high as a kite.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big departure from usual Sasha storylines and a window into what it means to really be Sasha, who doesn't have to hide her capability and the fact that she was raised by a con woman this whole time. Which is part of the reason why I don't want her to be a little puddle on the ground if anything happens to Daisy.
Oh gosh, no, I don't want her to be a little puddle on the ground either.
Yeah.
My goodness. Wouldn't it be wonderful if her parents showed up when the whole baby drama is over and they ultimately get Daisy back? It'd be cool if her parents helped her in a Scorpio Sutton kind of way.
What if Sasha's sleeping, right? She's sleeping, and then she hears, "Crikey, she's got the baby!" Right? And she wakes up and she's like, "What's going on? The baby! She's got the stop her, Holly!" Right? And then Sasha gets out of bed and she runs over to the nursery and there's Holly standing there bolting out the window, chasing after somebody as Robert's standing there next to the cradle going, "Oh my goodness, who am I going to give this didgeridoo to?" What do you think about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
General Hospital.
It's that all of it's going to be fun. The whole, of course we're going to have to see Sasha absolutely torn apart again, but
I want her to
hope
be
she
determined.
comes out like the badass you mentioned at the top of the show.
Determined, not a puddle, not distraught, not full of tears, but full of action. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I hope down the road Alexis gets to raise Scout. I don't want Alexis to raise any more of those terrible children. One's a lunatic, the other one doesn't have love, and the other one's dead. But she didn't raise that one.
Alexis shouldn't even get a cat, you guys.
Alexis is not a role model.
No.
Not at all. I would rather.
She wasn't a bad mom. Okay? I never saw Alexis as a bad mom. But she was judgy a lot with her kids. And she was, for the most part, I felt emotionally unavailable.
I mean,
That's not good treats.
And for me, all I have to do is just point to Kristina. I just gotta point to Kristina and be like, this is the result of Alexis's labor. Like she tried real hard and this is what came of it. So
Now I see, as time progresses on with Molly, I see her as just a little carbon copy. She is Alexis Jr.
Absolutely. Melissa reminds us that Sam McCall died of while being selfless. she gave up part of her liver and wound up getting whatever the hell it was.
Well, yeah, Cyrus killed her.
Digitalicized.
That's right. Cyrus killed her.
Yes, absolutely. She did die being selfless, and Alexis didn't raise her, but she did raise Kristina.
Yeah, she raised Molly too. But Molly just does, her character she is like a little Alexis Jr., just like
Hello,
I think
Melinda.
Joss is just a little Carly Jr. too.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of kind of reflecting some. Kristina is, what if the loose cannon nature of Sonny is blended with the rash decision making of Alexis.
Uh-huh.
And then we got a Kristina. And then Molly, I hope that the writers have realized this. And if not, I hope you're listening. Because Molly wrote that romance novel and was in love with love. And now she has definitely fallen out of love with love. And we need Cody to help remind her to love love.
Well, it kind of hurt her feelings that he was sitting there over there at the pool talking to Ava.
Well, he needs to be more mindful of ways that he's making money, I guess. And Kristina doesn't even know that they got a little crush on each other. And so Kristina's just making things worse.
Sure.
Because
she doesn't think things through.
No.
Never does.
No. Folks, if you have not hit the reaction button, do so now. Just smash it. Just smash it en masse. Do it. And then hover over the like button and hit that. But only click it once, because if you do that more than once, then it unlikes. And we want to keep the like going on. And after that, if you haven't clicked the red little circly thing that has you subscribe, you should do that too.
You should do that too.
You should do all of that stuff.
Oh my God.
There they go. Oh, reactions.
We have I don't know, about 25 away from YouTube saying, hey, y'all are cool.
Yeah, we're getting there. Every week it's just chugging along. And if there's anybody brand new to the show hanging out with us, thanks for doing that.
Yes.
We'll be back next week for this. And we'll be back a little later on today to talk about some other soap operas.
Yeah, we're going to talk about two
We're going to talk about that Bill Hamilton.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him.
And we're going to talk about the 40th anniversary of Apache.
Yeah.
At the same time.
It's standalone episodes this week, didn't we?
Yeah, we got Apache memories. We got Bo and Hope memories. Good times for the fans of those, and bad times for the fans of people that think that they should have had other attention placed elsewhere. More on that at 1:30. So join us in a little bit. 1:30, if you want to watch us live or watch us on the replay, both is perfectly viable and A-okay with me. As we'll talk about Days of Our Lives and Beyond the Gates. So if you're fans of that, or curious about what we think about it, or just want to listen to mother and son talk about soap operas some more, come on back. I think that's it though for this one. I'm going to try real hard to be real on time next week. I'm going to try real hard. There's no guarantee, but I'm going to try real hard.
You're going to try real hard.
I'm going to try real hard, folks. I promise I'm going to try real hard. I am. Are we really on the 10th floor? No, I will not sit here and lie to you, David. I am on the first floor of my home.
I'm on the second floor.
There you go. Are you on the 10th floor, David? If you are, get on into that elevator and go back down to the first floor. And then go into the parking garage, climb on into your car that has either been fully gassed up or completely charged by the generous nature of it, Jen's Sidwell.
You're right.
I'm happy to do this for you. Drive safely.
Take
off into the highways of Port Charles, surrounded by dense wood. Look over there! A police vehicle has crashed. Prisoners are on the loose. What's that I see over there?
Maybe...
Somebody having a baby along the tree line? It's a lot of activity.
Hey. They're going to be those kids are going to be really angry if they find out that big old puppy dog actually belongs to Dalton.
He belongs to Dalton. He got his brain swapped. He's actually a cat. Oh my God, this dog has the secrets of cold fusion sewed into its very bone structure. What Dalton did, he took a laser and with the puppy dog. The dog named everybody who logged off already is missing this, the puppy dog, Outback.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Australia. Anyway, Outback, okay, Outback. He laser etched into the bones of the dog the notes of how to do cold fusion, or he tattooed it on the puppy dog's skin, and you can only see it when you pet the dog opposite of the hair, and then you can see the notes to cold fusion underneath.
That is some really good ridiculousness.
Stay tuned, folks. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you at 1:30 and again next week, live right here on the 10th floor. Follow us on social media at 10th floor GH. You can also send us an email at 10thfloorgh@gmail.com if you so choose. And that's it. Go spend some time with your families until 1:30, and we'll be back. Goodbye.
Bye.